All right, welcome into the Bobcat Coaches Show on Super Talk 1270, live from the Tap-In Tavern in Bismarck. The Bobcats are getting set for a home-and-home series against Minot. They are on the road on Friday at 7:30, and then the home opener, Coors Light opening night, is Saturday night, October 1st at 7:15. Get your tickets right now at going to BismarckBobcats.com and selecting Buy Tickets Now, or go on the free Bismarck Bobcats mobile app and click on Tickets. Layne Sedevie with us, Bobcat head coach. Have you gotten the free Bobcat app yet?
Nope.
Why not?
I'll be at every game.
So you don't want to go back to the locker room and find out the score alert, hey, it's 1-0 Bobcats after one, because you saw it there.
Nah. I check the NHL website enough during periods. So, I don't know. Hope the fans get it, though.
All right. Well, we've had a few hundred downloads at least until now. You can get some free stuff by checking in during the game, and even you too, Layne, if you want to, on the bench. Well, the Bobcats getting set for Minot after a couple of wins in Aberdeen. I won't ask a leading question, just your overall thoughts on a 4-point weekend that definitely has some room for improvement.
What's the leading question?
The leading
that you
question,
would ask?
The leading question, well, something like, well, your power play was good, but this and that, you allowed 3 goals 4-on-4, yada, yada, yada. I'll just let you give your thoughts.
The good, the bad, the ugly?
Why not?
Yeah, the good was, we found ways to win games, which we didn't find ways to do last year, and especially this time of the year. And I think we can revert back to last year because there's, a good group of guys back from that. So I think that learning curve, I think that ability to fight adversity, throughout the course of the season. Man, how about Adam Pietila's in the house, huh? Just totally sidetracked me, just sitting back there smiling. It's nice to have him back. I think to me, I would say probably if we had Steve sitting here with us, I think we'd probably say there was a lot of ugly on Saturday night. And I just felt like there wasn't much executed as far as details. And I felt like Friday, our last 40 minutes, we played very well and really deserved to win that game. And the first period, it is what it is. But that's why it's 60 minutes. And really challenged the group after the first 20, and they responded. And I think that's what you have to do, not only at home but on the road. And sometimes 20 minutes can cost you the game. That fortunately for our group on Friday, it didn't. And I think when you look at the weekend as a whole, the great part is we got 4 points. I thought our power play was good. I wish it had a little more killer instinct in it. We had so many, and I think I say that just because of the amount of chances that we had. I thought we scored. Now I will say I thought we scored really timely goals on the power play, and big goals. So I'm not too concerned about that. Moving forward, if we weren't scoring with that many opportunities, we'd have big concerns. But feel like that's in a decent spot for Game 5 and Game 6. I think the big thing is just some structure, and sticking to what works. I feel like we broke down almost every thing that we could as far as systems go on Saturday, and showed it to our guys, and just felt like we fell short. And so we broke down Saturday night's game. We showed them this morning what we thought, and I think that's where you have to use film, and you have to get better, and we have to start executing those 3 areas. When you look at our forecheck, our neutral zone, and our D zone, better on a Friday and Saturday night basis in order to get 4 points. Now the good news is it was almost I don't want to say it was dead on the bench when they scored their fourth goal, but it was one of those things where I feel like it's just crazy when you look at the box score. We give up 4 straight and then score 4 straight. So, but again, our power play comes through. Mike gets a puck through. We have great traffic with Patty in front, and we're back in the hockey game and find a way to come out and play a pretty good third period. I thought it was, I think really we can sum your question up and the weekend up is a great weekend to get 4 points, get us back on track. but consistency is what we're lacking right now.
Bobcats beat the Aberdeen Wings in Aberdeen 4-1 and 6-4. It took the Bobcats a long, long time to get a road sweep last year. Did it only twice. Both were at North Iowa, the last-place team in the division. Not saying Aberdeen's going to be a last-place team, but they've been going through some struggles. But your first road weekend, you get a road sweep. You find Bob early. Is that a big confidence boost for your guys knowing you can get 4 points on the road?
I mean, I think I think it's nice for the group. I mean, it's the showcase was tough. I felt like we should have gotten more than 1 point at the showcase, but we didn't. And I think that's where find ourselves a bit in a hole. And an easy way to get out is to go on the road and get 4 points. So I think all around it was a good weekend. And I mean, it's just more happy for the guys to find a way to really find ways to win. And I would say more so Friday was more textbook, but Saturday night was it wasn't pretty. But at the end of the day, it's 4 points, and hopefully it builds some momentum going into this weekend.
Just seems to me, and you mentioned the video already, that the weekend going in from Game 1 to Game 2, and also the last couple of days here in Bismarck leading up to the Minot series, there's been a bigger emphasis on video than there was at any point really last year leading up to a series and during a series.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just holding guys accountable, right? I mean, if you're going to ask guys to be accountable, I just felt like we were really going through the motions, and I don't think it's acceptable for myself or Hunter to expect our guys to get the most out of them if we're not putting in the work to prepare them. And that's so I think it goes both ways. But I told them after the first period on Friday night in Aberdeen, things are going to change around here. We're going to be prepared. Just little things, right? We have a guy in the lineup that doesn't remember to bring a jersey. We have no backup sticks on the bench at the start of the game on Friday night. We're just not prepared to play. And I told him, I said, we're not good enough right now where we can just flip a switch and think we're going to go beat any team. So I think it's just making sure that we're doing our jobs, and if they have any questions or whatever it is that we're going through film, and we're trying to teach, and we're trying to get our structure, and to me, I really do believe that a lot of kids are visual learners, and they need to see obviously good things too. But I think when you look at there's two ways you can show it. You can show a bad forecheck, or you can show a good forecheck, or you can show both and say this is what went wrong here, this is what we did really good here. And I think that's to me it's very crucial that you show some good and some bad, so that we can hopefully put that into the games Friday and Saturday moving forward this week.
Do you feel like not having the type of video and the accountability through that you have now affected you guys in the first couple of showcase games?
Well, I think it's really tough. I mean, our first game we didn't even have video. And there's excuses, and then there's reality when there's a lot of stuff going on at the showcase, and you don't see 40 minutes of a hockey game, and it's like, okay, well, what are we going to show here? So I think it's I just feel like the showcase is so much in such a short amount of time. I think to me it's really nice to get settled down into your 56 game schedule and in your interdivision games, and I think you can really focus on when you look back at those games, what we did well, what we didn't do well, how we can break down film moving forward. So do I think it would have helped? I do, yes. But there's stuff that we can control and stuff we can't.
Your power play was, as you said, pretty good. A lot of chances. I feel bad for Jay and Aberdeen. Their announcer trying to talk to Steve on Monday after they took 20 penalties over the weekend in 2 games. That was an undisciplined team he took advantage of. Scored, I believe, 3 power play goals on the weekend. Verti Jantunen with 4 goals in 4 games. I want to touch on that in just a moment. I can't find another Bobcat since the North American League merger 20 years ago that scored a power play goal in 4 straight games. Verti does it, and we're still in September. What's it like, and I've asked you this before, but what's it like having a threat like that on the right wing on the power play?
Well, I think you should ask the other teams, because
Seriously,
it's nice to have on And then I think you look at it and you think, wow, like, okay, I mean, he's a pure goal scorer. And I feel like if he gets an opportunity, he's going to score. But I feel like with his goal scoring, I feel like it's maybe covered up a little bit of what Evan Hunter has done on the other side, and has 9 points, and I think he's tied for the league in scoring. So to me, when you look at our power play and you break down both sides of our our 1-3-1, there's a threat on both sides, and I think they're both goal scorers. They've proven that, and then they have Nui in the middle. So to me, I think it's a good mix. I think if you want to key in on a certain guy, I think the group is good enough to where they're going to move it to the other side and work it off the other side. And, those are all the things and issues that they're going to have to, figure out and solve moving forward, because you can really get frustrated if a team really wants to, try and take away a certain guy. We'll start forcing pucks. You'll see it. But I think if they can move the puck around, let the puck do the work, I think we have threats on either side of our power play, plus Nui in the middle. And I think if it goes down low, I mean, I think you see the one goal we score. It goes down low, goes the middle, shot, rebound, Evan Hunter back door. I mean, it's a well-rounded power play right now, I feel like. So, but again, you have to have those guys that can score. And I feel like it's early. Time will tell, but I feel like maybe some guys are starting to emerge into, putting up points and being point producers.
How do you then, as you say, let the puck do the work?
Exactly as you say. You can't force it, and that's the thing where I think film comes in, and is a huge part. I mean, it's showing guys where, I mean, because really what guides your puck movement on a power play is either seams, lanes, or their stick pressure. And if their stick pressure is towards the middle, we can't force it to the middle. So somebody's always open. I mean, that's the reality of it on a power play. And if we have good relief valves, if we do get pressured, we want to obviously keep the puck to the middle of the ice where Nui's at. It's the hardest place to pressure, and then disperse it from there. So I think it's a work in progress. It's those guys getting in those game-like situations, either A, in practice, or B, in games, maybe not succeeding right away, breaking it down, showing them, hey, this is the safe play right now. We need to move it around. We need to get that seam to open up before we can force it there. So I think that group is good enough to break that down and break a PK down. But to me, really, when we look at things with obviously new additions to our team too, we need to get 2 units going. That's a huge key. You see it in the National Hockey League where Washington or Pittsburgh, and those guys never leave the ice, but they also have possession for 2 minutes in zone, and they're the best players in the world, and they want them on the ice. Well, here I think it's really crucial to have two units that can go out and be a threat to score. I just feel like it's I mean, maybe you put a unit out, you get their best PK guys, or you put your top unit out, get their best PK guys. Well, they can't keep going, so your second unit can take advantage of that, or vice versa. So I think those are all things that are really thought about when you're trying to assemble 2 units to have success.
Yeah, do you think Jared Bednar in Colorado even practices zone entry with McKinnon on his team?
I don't know. I mean, well, McKinnon or that other guy on the blue line, I mean, good luck. I mean, it's just if you have Cale Makar and McKinnon, I don't even know if you practice power play, to be honest with you. I just think you let them go make plays, and the rest will just take care of itself. I mean, it's one of those things where they're so creative and so talented. They just there's a reason why they're the best in the world.
So all this talk about your first unit on the power play with Neumeier that's been so good so far. You mentioned 2 units. The Chase Beacom-led second unit got more time in Aberdeen, but no success once again. How are they faring?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's I actually felt like on Friday night, other than the 4-on-3 goal, I thought they had better looks. And again, with personnel coming in, we've made changes. And today was our first day that we, had those new looks, and I really liked what I seen today. Now that's got to translate into tomorrow and into Friday and Saturday night, but I feel like it gives us a threat on both units. And to me, the big thing is sometimes it's just having the correct handed guy in a spot. And I think with a couple guys coming in, we're able to kind of mix and match a little bit. There's guys on the first unit that went on the second unit, and just because of what hand they were and where we feel they can play in that spot. But I also think it gives us that depth, and it gives us guys in their correct, whether it's a one-timer or a playmaking spot. It just everything right now. The good part is it feels right, moving forward. So we'll see. But we have made changes, and hopefully, they can execute this weekend.
Two players coming up on the Coaches Show. I'll ask about you both. Michael Neumeier and Adam Pietila. Neumeier, a 6-point weekend, 2 goals, 4 assists. He now has 8 points in his first 6 games. Your top blue liner, top power play defenseman. When you have him as a threat who can shoot the puck, he's been shooting the puck every game. He finally scores a couple of goals in succession to get you guys back to a tie last game on Saturday in Aberdeen. When you have him at the blue line, do you just trust him and let him go?
Yeah, I mean, I think his stick skills are so good. He made a play in practice today, and I literally, I just stopped myself, and I went up to him, and I was like, Nui, how did your hands get so good? And how is your, because he bats pucks down. He does just very, very special stuff. And he's like, I don't know. He's like, I was like, did you stick handle a ton as a kid? He's like, I do now. But his ability to make that guy miss, I think, is probably the most underrated thing that he does, because he gets pucks through when he does that. And when you put a guy like Patty Johnson, I know Patrick Johnson isn't a big guy, but if you look at our power play goals, other than the one he set up from down low that went to Holtby to backdoor to Evan, the reason we scored those goals is because Nui gets it through and Patty's in front with traffic. And I think that's the big thing, and I really feel like it's one of the most underrated things that he does. Now, it's subtle, but he can, give a fake move, and he gets pucks through, and I think that's one of the reasons why our power play it has success is his ability to get pucks to the net. But his creativity, and there's times where we actually talked today about it too, is just him knowing when to go and when to make plays, and I think that's something that he's evolving in his junior career, and it's a bit of a work in progress. What he does with the puck, I'm out. Can't do that.
Does he remind you of how good John Ziske was the last 2 years?
Yeah, I think so. I think they're big guys. They can skate, and they can flat out make plays. I mean, that's the nice part about having those guys in those spots. I think when you look at Z, maybe body types are a little different. Z's maybe a little more rangy, maybe a little more longer. It'll be interesting to see. I know Z's doing a really nice job at Niagara. I think he's actually on their power play. But to me, it'll be interesting to see when he starts filling out. I think Nui's more, he's stockier. He's a little more filled out than Z. But I mean, when you look at it, I guess I don't know how big Cale Makar is, but when you look at guys that are really good at quarterback and a power play, I think those two guys, a 6'3", 6'4" guy, are maybe a little bit out of the norm. As to it's usually maybe a 5'10", 5'11", 6-foot guy. So I think that really shows you, how good their skill sets are for what I call big men.
Adam Pietila, second guy coming up on the show. His first day back was today. Got him in practice, and I mean, I know you can't control it. You don't ask for it. Pitts doesn't care if I say this or not, but I mean, you can't get this guy off the ice after practice. He wants nothing more than to have people shoot pucks and have him tip it. Having Pitts and Patty in front of the goal, whether on opposite power plays or just separate lines, what will that do?
Yeah, I mean, I think he just plays the game the right way, and I think that's what I think probably everybody that watched him last year respects him and the way he plays the game. I mean, it's just he's a worker. He's got a really good stick, and he's flat out hard, and that's the reason why he had success last year, and that's the reason why he will have success this year. It's not a light switch. I know Oscars didn't like him in practice, and I can tell you day one, Lennartz, I don't think liked him standing in front of him either, because he's just a pest. And I think it's one of those things where you hope it's contagious. I mean, that's really what it's what you're looking for. I think it's he's dogmatic. He plays north. He can play with some speed, and he just does a lot of things really well. And I think that's the reason why he's had success here and will have success at the college level.
Well, you better be careful with Lennartz. They're going to be college teammates in Michigan one day, in Northern Michigan.
Yeah, they're going to have a long lifespan together here. It's probably going to be one that I don't know if he's going to like, because I have a feeling there's probably a chance that Adam will be net front on power play at Northern Michigan too. So, but again, I told the guys, and I have literally had one player in the time that I've done this, Corey, and he was on our power play. Comes into our coach's room, and I don't know if I almost had a heart attack or if I almost fell off the chair, but he goes, "Coach, I don't think I'm a power play guy." How many kids come in and tell you that?
Did you respect that?
100%. And we left him on the power play, and I think he had 12 goals net front. I mean, everybody wants to be on the power play. You get if I ask our team who wants to be on the power play, if there isn't a hand that goes up, I'm calling them out. And when I ask the team about PK, there's not going to be as many hands that go up. But when I look at a team, I think to me, I don't look at power play as what makes the Bobcats tick. I look at our PK and our work ethic and how well-rounded we are in other areas that lead to success. Your power play, obviously, it has to have success, but big picture, your PK's character, sacrifice, everything that you want the front of that crest to be about in order for you to have success, and quite frankly, maybe do something special.
All right, one last thing, roster moves. Bobcats have brought in, 4 new guys this week. It's a different roster from Showcase till now, but how different?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's Friday is going to be really different. I think we added some really nice pieces, and it's just this time of the year for junior hockey, and I think Nico's done a great job, and trying to upgrade a few things or holes that we felt that we needed, and we're lucky enough to get Adam back and add another really, really huge piece, moving forward and into Friday here. But then you have, look at what Landon Fandel did for us on the back end. I mean, he's an absolute stud. Played for us this last weekend, 05, Northern Michigan commit. So I think there's a lot of moving parts. I think you'll probably see that maybe it's definitely it's slowing down now with players dropping. And I think probably another weekend it's going to halt unless somebody's unhappy with somebody or something happens. So I think it's that part of the year where if you feel you have holes, you try and go out and fill them. So I feel like we've done a good job, and I think really when you look at things, October 4th you have to be down to 24 from 25. So that's probably to me when teams are really going to lock in and really find out what they have.
Landon Fleming, Landon Fandel. Any confusion?
Nope.
All right, there you go. Layne Sedevie, thanks so much.
Thanks, Corey.
All right, Michael Neumeier, Adam Pietila coming up on the Coaches Show on Super Talk 1270. All right, welcome back to the Bobcat Coaches Show on Super Talk 1270, live from the Tappan Tavern. Time to hear from players, and maybe our favorite guest of all time on the Coaches Show is on. It's Michael Neumeier. How are you?
I'm great. How are you, Corey?
I'm doing great. You were only on the Coaches Show one time last year. You're welcome, by the way.
Yeah, appreciate that.
But this is your one time on, your 15 minutes of fame this year. Comes at a pretty good time. A 6-point weekend, 2 goals, 4 assists. You've been shooting pucks all year. You get a couple finally through, and the Bobcats get a sweep. How'd you feel last weekend?
Obviously, it felt pretty good. You know, always nice to get a sweep, especially on the road, especially early in the year. Get some momentum going into the season, and let the players feel pretty good for the upcoming.
Well, how'd you feel finally having your pucks get through the net, even though a couple of them kind of just leaked through, but you got them through?
It was nice. I mean, the second one was pretty surprising that I got through, but obviously just throwing pucks on net works. So
you were like standing right by your bench when the second goal went in. When did you find out it went in? Like, did you see it cross the goal line?
I did not. I was kind of just waiting for the whistle, stoppage of play, go change, and then I forget who was on the right side, but they started celebrating. So.
All right. Well, is this something that you think will continue? You've been shooting pucks all year, as you did last year. You had like 120 shots last year, but you've had more this year. You're over a point per game. Do you feel like that's the big confidence booster? Like, all right, I can stay at over a point per game for the year. Just keep on shooting pucks and have them getting through.
Yeah, pretty much. Just good things happen when you throw pucks on net, either a tip or not. I think I had probably about 15 assists just off throwing pucks in the net and them getting tipped in. So, yeah, continue to do that.
What's your style of play for those who don't watch you?
I would say I'm a two-way D-man. More so on the offensive side. I like to rush the puck and see what I can do as an individual. But on the flip side of that, I make a pass in the D zone and really cover guys.
If you're a two-way defenseman, you're obviously defense first. How do you incorporate the offense and be at, again, 8 points in 6 games already?
Probably just be in a good position, whether that be supporting my team down low in the D zone, of course, because I'm a D-man, or getting ready to jump up into play if our centerman gets stuck down in the corner or winger's slacking behind. I'm able to jump up in the rush.
What makes you so effective on the power play?
I think just moving it quickly, having great guys on the wall to help split up the work. If everybody on the ice is a threat, then you can't cover everybody. That's why power play is so effective.
When did you first become a defenseman? Is that your entire life, or you became somewhere in the middle?
No, I've been a D-man my entire life. Always enjoyed rushing the puck. Just kind of how I played my entire life.
Being from a small town, we always talk about your beloved hometown of Kerrobert, Saskatchewan, population like 40, 900, but whatever. Small town in Saskatchewan near the Alberta border, for those who don't know, which would be probably everybody. Do you just grow up like with outdoor rinks around town? How do you get into hockey when you're young?
Well, it's such a big hockey town. Like there's not a whole lot to do, so hockey's the only option, and it's so small that there's not a lot of people going in the rink. A lot of free time on the ice, so there's a lot of shinny. So you'd show up, skate for 3 to 4 hours after school, and yeah.
Now there's a junior team that plays there, right?
There's a junior B team, yeah.
You ever go to their games growing up?
Oh yeah, all the time. That's kind of a big thing. Them and the senior team in Kerrobert is kind of what you go to.
I looked up Kerrobert on Elite Prospects and saw there are 10 players who've played hockey, like at juniors or beyond, out of Kerrobert. 3 of them are Neumeiers.
Yep.
Do you just run the town?
Yeah, pretty much. And then my cousins are the Murphys, which I don't know if you saw their name, but they're it's us and them kind of running the town.
Well, there's a combined 1 NHL game between you guys.
That was my uncle. He was trying out for the Wild. He got 1 game, but sadly got cut. It was early '90s. Wasn't a big guy, so they took a 6'4" D-man over top of him.
Well, he played at UND, didn't he?
He did, and he had a great career overseas.
So what's it like then, getting a look in the USHL, but coming back after preseason to the place that was your junior hockey home last year?
Obviously disappointing not making the USHL, but it was nice having a good place like Bismarck to come back to. just knowing that the systems, knowing what position I would be in, it was nice.
Has a lot changed systems-wise between last year and this one?
I wouldn't say so. I mean, we kind of power plays a little different. We kind of went through a lot of power plays because it was struggling last year. So it's nice to see that on a better pace. But other than systems, no, not really.
Having Adam Pietila back, who you're going to hear from in a moment, he probably tipped in most of your assists last year. What's it like having him to shoot at?
Oh, it's lovely. I know if I throw a puck on that, he's most likely gonna get a tip in, and good chance it goes in.
Do you feel bad for the goalies that play on our team because Pitts has to face them on the power play in practice?
Absolutely, Pitts does not care. He gets in there. He'll give a little jab at the goalie after the whistle, trying to find a loose puck. He works hard in practice, so I feel bad for the goalies.
Do you like going up against him when you're on opposite sides in practice?
Oh yeah, of course. It's always nice to have a competitor and guy that works hard. Just creates good competition and makes everyone better.
So when you're in front of a crowd like in Aberdeen last week, or Minot this week, and obviously the crowd in Bismarck, did you have anything like that growing up before you came here?
No, not really. Our rink is an old airplane hangar, and so it's pretty small, and you know the fans are usually parents or grandparents, so it's definitely a change of pace.
An old airplane hangar?
Yeah.
How'd that work? You just put an ice rink on top of it, you freeze water on top of a hangar? That's
So
it?
pretty much the rink in Crawford got hit by a tornado, burned down once, and then finally they shipped over an old airplane hangar. So
I was talking to your dad, who's at a lot of the games. He's not even from Kerrobert.
no, he's from Calgary.
How do you get a guy from Calgary to move to Kerrobert, Saskatchewan?
So actually, after his junior days, he got drafted by our senior team. Senior's a big thing in Saskatchewan and in Canada, so it's pretty competitive. So he got drafted there, and he showed up and played.
And just stayed there for the rest of his life?
Pretty much, that's where he met my mother.
Huh. How often do you expect to have him down in Bismarck?
Honestly, I feel like he's gonna be down more than he was last year. I mean, it depends how busy work is, but I don't know, he loves coming down and watching hockey. Doesn't even have to be my hockey.
He's like the busiest man in Kerrobert, too, that guy. He's always working when he's not watching you.
Mm-hmm. He is a busy man.
What are your expectations for Minot this weekend?
Honestly, pretty high. Coming off a sweep, it wasn't the cleanest sweep, but I feel like our group is extremely good. I feel like our forwards can put the puck in the net, good four lines, and our D-core is very, very solid, which I enjoy, and our goalies are fantastic. So expectations are high.
Yeah, how much more advanced is this group along in the development of a season at this point this year compared to last year where you guys had not won a game yet at this point?
It's definitely a lot further on. Like, we're not struggling to find players to fill in roles. We already have our players, so now we can just focus on systems and playing as a group. We don't have to find those fill-in players to, you know.
Who are some of the newcomers who you've really enjoyed playing with?
Really enjoyed playing with Evan Hunter, obviously. 9 points so far. He's done fantastic playing in goals. Verte, he's amazing. He ripped the puck. Great player. I really like Kyle Dahl. He works hard. You know, he's nice. And I sit next to two other rookies, CJ Kier and Nolan Nenow. Those guys are a blast. Good hard workers on the ice too, and great guys in the room. I enjoy goofing around with them.
I feel like when either Dahl or Nenow scores their first goal, and Dahl came pretty close over the weekend, the bench in the room will just explode when that happens.
Oh yeah, it'll be electric. We're waiting for that moment, and hopefully it'll be a timely goal too, so it'll be massive.
All right, Michael Neumeier, Bobcat defenseman. Thank you.
Thank you, Corey.
All right, coming up is Adam Pietila, another familiar face on the Coaches Show on Super Talk Club. Back live at the Tap-In Tavern on Super Talk 1270. It's the Bobcat Coaches Show. Just heard from Michael Neumeier, second-year defenseman. Now time for second-year forward Adam Pietila, who just came into town today. How are you, Pitts?
Good, how are you?
Not too bad. For some reason, we can't hear you. Is your mic up to your mouth there?
Is that better?
No, still can't hear you. Huh. For some reason, Adam Pietila's mic is just not going here. Just bear with us. I think he broke it, Pitts. I think Pitts broke the mic. Well, I've got another one here. This is the first time it's ever happened. Our mic just doesn't work for the guest here. So we're going to try something new. All right, here we go.
I'm going to keep the headset on.
Yeah, sure. All right. Here we go. Now you're just going to hold a mic. So,
Check.
there you go. We got you.
Can you hear that?
Yep. All right, there we go. Sorry about that. So, Adam Pietila's back in town. 17 goals last year, 158 penalty minutes, whole bunch of fights, whole bunch of goals, whole bunch of opposing goalies and friendly goalies not liking you. Overall impressions on last season?
Last season was fun. I guess a lot of good things happened last season. Started off bad, and then I guess the boys turned it around, made it lots of fun.
What made it so much fun aside from the winning?
I think we came together and start to finish. We started to hang out, get to really know each other, and that always makes it a lot more enjoyable.
What role did you like to have on that team?
I just like to fire everybody up, make sure it's loose and everybody's having a good time.
As far as last year's concerned, before we get into this year, were you even surprised at how much offensive success you had, being a fourth-line guy at the beginning, scoring 17 goals?
I guess it's not really where you're at. It's just how you're playing. So, I guess comes with the game, I suppose.
So coming to Bismarck this year, obviously, Sioux City and the USHL drafting you, releasing you before you come back here. Does that give you a chip on your shoulder coming into Bismarck?
Oh yeah, for sure. I'll be flying Saturday.
Well, there you go. Not Friday?
Friday.
Friday and Saturday, I hope?
Oh yeah, both.
All right.
I was just saying if they're gonna come watch.
Oh, I'm sure they will.
Saturday's at home.
I'm sure they will. So Sioux City lets you go, and all the USHL guys who come back have that chip on their shoulder, it seems. So when you come back here, what more do you want to prove?
I just want to, be a leader, I guess. Get the boys where we need to be, since everybody that's been here before knows the direction we have to go. So that's where we're headed with it.
So what are you able to take away from your time in Sioux City?
I got to know some of the boys pretty well, and just keep in touch, and then just taking back some things that were taught to me and taking them here.
What was the summer like for you?
Lots of pools, working out, skating, just staying busy all summer.
Are you just like raking in cash building pools back in Michigan?
Oh no. Do it for free.
For free?
Yep.
How do you make your dough?
Donation pools.
There you go. So apparently, Layne's been telling me that Leonard Zlipski's the fellow Northern Michigan commit, as are you. Not liking how much you're whacking him in front of the net and just being a pest down there. How do you feel about that?
He said that already?
Well, Layne was saying that. I don't know if Leonard said it, but Layne sure did.
Yeah, that was only the first day. He better get used to it.
Do you think Oscar just hated your guts last year?
Oh no, me and Oscar were good buddies. He used to come with me to the rink because he lived by me down in Lincoln, and we always laughed about it in the car after. But that was he was never a happy man on the ice.
Are you in the same billets this year?
No, I actually live with the cops now.
Okay.
Down up north where AVR lived last year.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure Chris Kopp's watching.
Oh, yeah.
Have you played the drum set yet, or seen him play the drum set?
I actually haven't. He moved it out to make room for me in his house. So, yeah, that was real nice of him.
Oh, there you go. You wanted to know what kind of goofy question I'm going to ask you. I'll give you just this one. What's like the weirdest thing that your or someone's phone has autocorrected Pietila to?
You would have to ask somebody that's typing my name into their phone. It probably wouldn't give me anything too crazy.
Huh. Has it kind of learned your name by now?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
How
Like if you
often-
typed it into your phone, what would it say on your phone? That's a question for you.
I mean, probably because I have your contacts saved already, but like, let's see. Pietila. Yeah.
Playbook? I saw playbook in there.
Playbook? Peace? Yeah, Pietila. And it gives you nothing else.
Yeah.
So my phone's learned. What's like the biggest pool you've built in Michigan?
The biggest pool you can build is a 21-foot by 41-foot oval pool.
You know that off the top of your head? Like that's the rule?
Oh yeah, that's just the biggest they go.
Wow.
And that's like as big as a lot of in-ground pools, so that's a big old above-ground pool. But yeah, they're pretty big.
You prefer in ground or above ground?
Above ground. That's what we do mostly.
To not have to like put TNT down and just blast the ground. It sounds fun though.
Yeah, no, not quite, but yeah, the pools are fun this year.
All right, what are you looking forward to over the weekend aside from Sioux City watching you on Saturday?
What am I looking forward to? A big 4 points. That's what I'm looking forward to. Yeah, I think if we can keep this streak going, it'll make the beginning of the season a lot more enjoyable than the start of last season. So it should be fun.
All right, there we go. Adam Pietila, thanks so much.
Thank you.
All right, Hunter Laslo wraps up the Coaches Show on Super Talk Club. All right, wrapping up the Bobcat Coaches Show on Super Talk 1270 with assistant coach Hunter Laslo. How are you?
I'm good, Corey. How are you?
Not too bad. Is the stick mic working okay?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I'm good.
All right, there we go. Heard a lot from Layne about last weekend, especially immediately post Saturday's game. A lot like the sweeps last year. 4 points, yes, but wasn't convincing enough for him to be okay with the way the guys played.
Yeah, I mean, a very back and forth lopsided game at times. I thought our first 15 minutes of the game, I know we talked about it after the first period on Saturday night. I thought our first 15 minutes was awesome. I thought our forecheck was really effective. I thought we managed pucks. We've supported each other. We moved it really well. Got a lot of chances, and obviously took a 2-0 lead. And then took 5 minutes off there at the end of the period, and it obviously changes the momentum and the outcome of that period completely. So you can put 15 minutes of perfect work in, and then in back-to-back shifts, it can go away really fast. So again, another learning experience for our group, for the new guys especially that aren't familiar with how quick the tide can turn in this division in our league. So and then obviously giving up 4 straight, not something you ever want to do. But again, you can take some positive out of it. We end up having a response, and we score 4 straight. So obviously a couple good individual efforts on some goals, some other good ones, where we get some contribution from obviously our D and Nui, and then from a couple different forwards. So yeah, definitely happy with 4 points, right? Our first sweep in Aberdeen, and I believe it was 4 years. So we'll definitely take that, especially on our first road trip of the year after the showcase. So gets us out of last place. That was a familiar spot for us last year around this time of the year, so it's good to get right out of that from the gate. And then we work in practice this week. Obviously try to shore up some things. Obviously get Pitts back and add some pieces. So just trying to get everyone acclimated again as we head into Minot.
Bobcats hosting Minot for the home opener Saturday, October 1st, 7:15. BismarckBobcats.com for tickets. When you get Adam Pietila back, along with multiple other players who you'll hear from over the weekend when the Bobcats and Toros play. When you get Pitts back, someone was a fan favorite last year, 17 goals, gotten plenty of fights, over 150 penalty minutes, goalie's worst nightmare. What was your reaction when you heard the news that Sioux City let him go and he'd be coming back?
We're excited, right? He was a key piece of the success we had, and especially the second half last year. And he was just a guy that you could count on every night. You knew what you were going to get from Adam Pietila. It didn't matter how the game was going or how maybe individually he was doing. You knew you were going to get the consistent same effort from the kid every single night. And that's a piece that any team wants to have, right? A guy that you always want on your team, but the other team hates playing against, right? So. And I think I heard you say to him already with him at practice day one, already given Lipsky's a little bit of pad taps after the whistle. That's his MO. So our goalies better get used to that this year since we got 2 new ones. But yeah, he's an integral piece, right? He's awesome in our locker room. He's kind of a spark plug. His energy radiates throughout the locker room and in our coaching staff as well. So we're definitely excited to have him back.
Was there ever a player you played with or against that had the same impact of hating to be against him like Pitts?
Oh yeah, a couple come to mind. One of my real good best friends, Doc Gensler, and then another one, Luke Bennett. Those were 2 guys that weren't necessarily as built as Adam, but just hard-nosed, played the game the right way, and pissed a lot of guys off on the other team. So. Pitts has got a little bit of old school in him. I know the game's gotten very skilled and super fast, and Pitts can obviously get himself up and down the ice really well and has the finish, but he also plays with a little bit of a chip on his shoulder, a little bit of FU attitude, which is definitely something we love to have here in Bismarck.
It just seems like, I asked Adam this, were you surprised about how many goals you got? He gave his usual, jumbled answer to those questions, but a guy that plays like him when the game has definitely passed that kind of attitude by, still scoring 17 goals despite being a bottom 6 forward much of the year. How much skill does he have?
Hey, he's very talented, and obviously the logo next to his name on the line chart is a good representation of that. He can shoot the puck. He's got a heavy shot, but I think a big reason why he had so much success last year and was able to get that commitment is because he plays in the dirty areas. He's an absolute menace in front of the net. He'll tip pucks. He'll score from the outside. He'll work in the corner. He'll back check. He's very responsible in the D zone and coming out as well. So he's a very well-rounded player that has no quit in his system. He never gives up on a puck. He'll block a shot. He'll fight for a teammate. He just does all the little things, and that's why we love having him back, and obviously loved having him last year and are fortunate to get him back this year, just because his gameplay, his energy really, like I said, radiates throughout the room and on the bench. So he's definitely a key piece that we're obviously pumped to have back.
All right, Minot coming up on the road Friday, home for the opener on Saturday. How do you build on last week's 4 points and get 4 more?
Well, obviously we had success in the point column, right? That's what we had struggled with at the showcase. So we got to take that momentum of obviously knowing what a win feels like now with this group. Obviously have a lot of veterans who went through the trials and tribulations of last year. So obviously we have that sitting in the back of our mind that we don't want to let that creep back into our system. But we just got to play a complete game, as complete as we can. We can't take 5-10 minutes off. We got to play as complete as we can for 60 minutes and 120 minutes on the weekend, and that starts with the first shift on Friday night in Minot.
All right, Laz, thank you.
Thanks, Corey.
All right, that's all for the Bobcat Coaches Show on Super Talk 1270. The Bobcat Coaches Show is back every Wednesday at 5 o'clock at the Tap-In Tavern. And again, Bismarck Bobcats hockey on Super Talk 1270. Coming up Friday at 7:30 from Minot, then the home opener Saturday at 7:15 p.m. Gates open at 6 o'clock at the VFW Sports Center. Get your tickets right now at BismarckBobcats.com or on the free Bismarck Bobcats Game Day app, so you can choose your seats. It's all digital now. No need to give your name and pick up tickets at the door. Just show the email you get on your phone, and the folks at the front will scan the code. It is all paperless when you buy online on the Bismarck Bobcats app or the Bismarck Bobcats website, BismarckBobcats.com. Again, the Bobcats in Minot Saturday at 7:15 at the VFW Sports Center. Coach's Show back in 7 days at 5 o'clock next Wednesday, when the Bobcats hopefully have 4 more points in their back pocket. So long for now. This has been the Bobcat Coaches Show on Super Talk 1270.